What's up, Yoon-Fam? It is I,
Mark Yoon.
Today I wanted to talk about something that I found was a little bit interesting in a recent conversation that I had with a subscriber in the comment section. Now, I tried to go back and look for this comment, but I forget exactly which video it was on, but it definitely stuck in my head, so if it was you, I'm sorry about forgetting it. Sound off in the comment section down below. So we've been talking about the weapons last week, and kind of weapons we want to see return, and new weapons, and things of that nature. But this week I want to get a little ethereal and try and expand our horizons on what it is to be Soul Calibur kind of thing. And I feel like we did a little bit of that last week, but I wanted to really dive in this week with this week's videos. And the first one today is Edgeless. So I want to talk about EdgeMaster returning with no weapon. Now, I know you're probably shocked to hear that, and a lot of people are like, well, Mark, the entire point of EdgeMaster is that he mastered all of the weapons, and he can utilize all of them to great effect. In fact, he's been the mentor and teacher and trainer even for most of the cast on the good side of the Soul Calibur spectrum. So, how can I strip him away of using his weapons? Well, let's take an idea that we've already talked about, and we'll combine it with a new idea. So, last week we were talking about bare-fisted fighters. How we could get a character in the Soul Calibur roster that does not use weapons, but is still a part of the series, and we can be greatly used for a creative character and whatnot. Now I'm going to get in the arguments for and against at a later video, because I have seen a bunch of pushback on the fact that me and others like myself want at least one weaponless fighter in the Soul Calibur franchise. A lot of people believe that the weapons is the core to that, but that's not what we're talking about today. EdgeMaster has in fact mastered all edges. He's been there, done that. Whether he be an ancient or not, this immortal warrior travels the land and mastered every single weapon that we've at least seen in the Soul Calibur franchise. So much so that he trains the characters who have also mastered those same weapons. So, why would I strip him of that? Well, here's the thing, I wouldn't. There's a saying in karate that goes, the reason that you train is so that you don't have to fight. The kind of core value of that is you start learning martial arts in order to defend yourself. It's mainly out of fear. But with that comes knowledge, and as soon as you've mastered any one of those styles, you know that you're not going to win that interaction with whomever is getting in your way. So it kind of takes away the pride aspect and becomes a fruitless endeavor to even engage with that person. Why would you? Because you know for a fact you're going to win. So it's already happened. It's already done. This actually leads to a lot more conflict resolution skills. You can walk away, take a breath, reevaluate a situation. It's a lot easier to make decisions when you're not basing your decisions on fear, especially because those fears can cause anxiety and turbulence within yourself, and that's what leads people to fight in the first place. Now, in EdgeMaster's case, I feel like this would be similar. So he's mastered all of these weapons, and he's become a great mentor. But mastering them also means one very great rule. He can counter them now. I feel like EdgeMaster would be the perfect bare-fisted fighter, because not only would this give him a new purpose, but he can counter any weapon style without even having to use a weapon. Mitsurugi can come slashing at him with his katana. EdgeMaster can dodge, grab the hilt of the blade, flip it around, disarm him, any number of ways, because he's mastered that weapon even more so than Mitsurugi has. So he knows its weaknesses, its strengths, its defenses, how to defend against it, more importantly, disarmament. It's just similar to when you see a movie where someone is really good with a handgun, and someone else points a handgun at them, and with lightning speed and reflexes, they snatch that weapon out of their hands and take it apart, and all the pieces fall on the floor like almost instantaneously. We always think that's super impressive, but this is a similar kind of situation in a setup here. EdgeMaster has the ability, now that he has the knowledge of all of these weapons, to be able to disarm and combat against any weapon as well. Because, after all, mastering a style is not just about using that weapon effectively, it's also about mastering oneself and being able to defend against it as well. This is similar to how you've seen in multiple samurai movies. If someone comes at them with a blade and they are disarmed, or for some reason they do not have their blade on them, they are able to counter those slashes in quick succession just because of the fact they're so used and familiar to how those movements work and how they occur and how to defend against them. So dodging and even countering becomes a secondary implementation in one's brain. EdgeMaster would be perfect representation for this. I'm not saying that he should never use weapons again. Perhaps maybe if we're going up against someone like Algol, or if we have like some kind of cinematic or situation where he would need to rescue somebody and needs to quickly get in there and get his deed done, we can see this kind of coming back to fruition. But 9 times out of 10, whenever you're looking at somebody that masters something, they don't do that thing anymore. It's not that they don't practice it, not that they don't keep up on those abilities or skills, it's just that there's no need to gain any new ability if there's no ability to gain. For example, if you are training your entire life to, let's say, speak a language, okay? You meet somebody in graduate school or whatever, and you want to learn how to speak their language, and you never spoke it before. So you practice, and you spend years mastering this until you become fluent. Now, I don't believe that anybody is ever fluent in any language, even if your own language, but you get close enough to be super conversational. There's going to be a point in time where that person stops training and starts teaching. That's just a natural progression of things. And then when there's no one left to teach, what do? It opens up a Zen-like door where you are kind of focused and master-focused on introspection and all those kinds of things within yourself to try and become a true master. And I believe EdgeMaster has attained this. So unless we find out some kind of like super crazy secret about the character that we didn't know before, or unless some new weapon is introduced and sparks his curiosity in order to master, I think he could be the key. Like, if we have a third ultimate sword created from Aswell's magics using the Astral Chaos and the Ultimate Seed, maybe none of the weapons can counter it. Maybe this weapon is going to literally be the antithesis of both Soul Edge and Soul Calibur. Maybe Soul Edge and Soul Calibur will have to fuse once again to defeat the Ultimate Seed. And who else but EdgeMaster to wield that sword? But can anybody else do that sword? It seems like everybody else that's held them has been possessed in some way. This be Soul Calibur and Soul Edge, whether it be their ambitions changing or modification to their personality. EdgeMaster's the only one that's been able to actually withhold it, and maybe that's what his true training is for. Maybe becoming a master of all is so that he can be a master of himself. Now, of course, this is all speculation, and this is just like a fun thought experiment that I'd like to just share with you guys, and I want to keep the conversation going, so tell me what you think about this situation in the comment section down below. Try to be as civil as possible, and also we have a great Discord, so you can go check out the Yoon-Fam on our Discord, and any and all thoughts are always welcome and are always appreciated. So this is where we're going to end today's video. I want to thank you guys for watching and listening and commenting and all that stuff, and as always, I love it. Thank you.
And thank you.